How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to Photoshop yourself, or any photo for that matter, to look like the clown from the new 2017 Stephen King's It movie. So let's just jump right into this. The first thing you're going to want to do is get a photo of yourself. I'm sure y'all know how to take a selfie. It's pretty much what you're going to want to do here. So once you got your shot, you're going to want to bring it into Photoshop, create a duplicate of that image because we want to keep an original untouched at all times. We don't want to get rid of that original just in case we have to go back to it. So once you create that duplicate, you're going to want to go into the image adjustments and replace color. What we're doing here with the replace color is to change the color of the eyes. So we're going to want to eye drop the eye color, whatever eye color that is. And then you're going to want to take the saturation up as high as you can, unless it starts getting pixelated and distorted. We want to get a strong yellow color. So get the saturation up no matter what your color is. Bring up the lightness slightly. We don't want it to look too washed out, but you're going to want to just bring up the lightness so it stands out. Now take the hue bar and just shift it a little bit to the yellow hue. So my eyes are browny with a bit of green. I shifted mine over just to get that yellow bit in there. Now if you notice, I'm not paying attention to anything around the eyes. I know there's shades on my face that are changing. Don't worry about that, just focus on the eyes. So once you're done with that eye color, you're going to want to create a clipping mask on that same layer. So create the clipping mask and you're going to want to fill it black. So when you fill it black, then you're basically not displaying anything on that layer. So what you're going to want to do is grab the standard round brush, drop the hardness down to 0%, try and size that brush roughly to the size of the eyeball. So just to the colored area there. So once you do that, just start clicking, give it a few clicks, 3, 4, 5 clicks, just to get that part of the eye exposed. You don't want to give it that hard edge. Now if you do, that's fine, you can clean that up later. So as you can see, I'm doing that to both eyes here. Now I'm going to reverse the color palette so that I've got the now I've got the black highlighted again. I'm just going to clean up around the eye. So notice how I am trying to leave that black outline around the color, just like in the actual promo photo of it. You can see he's got a solid black line just around the colored area, so that's what we're going to try and achieve here. So now we're going to create a black and white adjustment layer just above the original image. And what you want to do here is just really adjust it so that the reds stand out and the yellows stand out as well. So we want to really give it that dramatic black and white look. So once we're happy with that, we're going to create a new layer above that adjustment layer, and we're going to fill it just with the standard red right now. I'm just going to move that above the eyes. So once again, we're going to create a clipping mask and we're going to fill it black so that nothing is exposed. So now we're going to take the brush tool. So we're just going to give a rough outline of the nose. You don't have to be perfect with this because we're going to clean it up. So just do a quick fill, change the layer effect to multiply, and now this is where we're going to clean it up. So I'm just cleaning up, getting the outline of the nose right. So this will take a little bit of time just to try and perfect it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, once you get all the effects on there, it'll look pretty cool either way. But if we compare it to what the original is, you'll notice that the original's red is a little bit, well, it doesn't cover as much as the nose. You can see that it's probably half of what I've done. So I'm going to go in and clean that up a little bit more. So now we're just going to play with the color a little bit, just because the color that I have is a little too bright. What I'm going to do is actually create a duplicate of that layer and I'm going to change the color to a slightly darker red. And then I'm just going to play with the opacity of both of them. Remember, they're both on multiply, so we can see beneath the nose, or beneath the color. So that's looking pretty good now. I still have a little bit too much, but that's okay. If you notice here, I just got a little bit too much feather around the bottom of the nose, so I'm going to clean that up by increasing the hardness and filling that in there. Alright, so next we're going to work on the lips. So what we're going to do is create a new layer, color in a very dark, more maroon red, and we are going to create a clipping mask and fill the mask black again, so we're not exposing anything quite yet. So now we're going to start coloring in the clipping mask. We want to outline the lips. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get the general color, or the general shape. To help, we'll just shift that to multiply right now so we can see below. So now it's a little bit too dark, so we're just going to reduce the opacity a bit so we can still see what we're outlining. So we're just really going to clean up the outline of those lips. So now that you've got the shape that you want, you're going to want to bring that opacity back up to 100%. We'll have to just play around with the opacity a little bit. But you can see, so I've got it at 79%, and I'm going to bring it back up. So we can play with the color now. So maybe we got a bit too dark of a red. So we'll adjust the color of the red, the fill there. There we go, we got a bit lighter, so now we can see the details a little bit more. So I'm going to actually try putting an overlay on here just so we can see a bit more of the underlay of the original image. And now we can bring it back, bring the color back down, and there we go. I think that's looking pretty good now. Bring up the opacity again, and awesome. Alright, so we've got our lips. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw that paint strip. So we're going to want to draw that paint strip on the right side of the face. So I'm just using the pen tool for this. You can use anything. If you find a brush that you want to use, you can do that as well. Once we have the shape that we're happy with, we're going to want to make a selection, and I'm going to put a slight feather around this, just give it 0.2, and create a new layer and fill it in. So now that we've got that, I'm just going to play with the different layer effects right now. Overlay was a bit too bright, so we're going to go with multiply again. Create a clipping mask on that, and we're going to want to just cut out the eye so that's not being covered. So now we've got our paint strip there, and we're going to want to duplicate it, and on the duplicated version we're going to want to go to edit, transform, and flip horizontal. You're just going to want to move this over to the other side because on the film promo we can't really see it, but there is one on the other side. So we're going to want to go to filter, blur, and add a Gaussian blur to that. I'm going to put it at 2.0 radius. So we're going to want to connect the paint strip to the lips. But basically how we're going to achieve this is just going to grab the smudge tool, and we're going to give it a high strength. I've got it at 80%. And just take that tip of it and pull it over to the lip. So we can also see that the top edge needs to be blurred a little bit more, so I'm just gonna blur it with the blur tool. Alright, so it's looking pretty good right now. So next, let's create a new layer, and what we're gonna want to do is try and get that dark eyeliner outline just below there, because I'm not wearing any eyeliner. If you were, you could probably get away without this. So I'm just gonna draw that around with the pen tool. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to edit the outline in a bit. So once we've got the shape, we're going to want to make a selection and fill it black. And let's turn that into a multiply effect and just play with the opacity a bit. Not too much. And then what we're going to want to do, because it's too hard of an outline, we're just going to want to do a filter blur and a Gaussian blur again. So let's bump that up to about a 20 radius. So then we're going to duplicate that, edit to transform, flip horizontal, and we're going to go adjust it to the other eye. You can also redraw this by hand, but this is a bit quicker. So what I've done is I've actually duplicated both, just to give it a bit more of a darker and dramatic look. Cool. Alright, so it looks like we've got all of the main features. Now we're going to look at these, the wrinkles just in between the eyes. So what we're going to do here is just do a rough outline of the wrinkles. Again, after you're happy with the shape, make a selection with it and create a new layer and fill it black. So now we're going to want to go into the layer styles, drop the fill opacity down to about 20%. We're going to want to do the bevel and emboss. So we're going to want to play with the soften level, the size level. Again, if you have a wider wrinkle, you're going to have a bigger size and a bigger softness. And the highlight mode, we'll keep that on screen and just drop the opacity down so we don't see that white outline. So once we're happy with that, we're actually going to want to go in and duplicate it and just rotate it so that we can get that same effect for the other side. So you can see how we still have that highlight in there. So what we're going to want to do is actually blur this. So give it a Gaussian blur, and that'll just help it blend a little bit with the background skin. So we blurred that so we don't see that strong outline anymore. Alright, so we just want to shift those over just to get the right distance between the two. We're going to have to do a bit of resizing. You just got to use your best judgment on that, depending on the face and the shape that you've just created. So we're going to want to create a new curves adjustment layer and just really bring out the blacks and the whites. Now we're going to add a new brightness and contrast adjustment layer. I'm going to actually bring that down. So once we're happy with that, then we'll create another new layer at the top. We're going to want to fill it black and create a clipping mask on top of that, just to give that shadow effect. So unfortunately, with the photo that I took, I had more light on the left side of the photo, so I'm actually going to reverse where that's coming from. So the dark side, the dark shadowed area is going to start from my right side. So let's clean up that shaded area. We're just going to want to fill in the darker spots, and then we can just play with the opacity so it's not fully covered. You want it to really look like it's being shaded. So what you're going to want to do is find a grunge brush. I've got a link in the description below that you can use, or you can use your own. I've had this pre-installed on my machine, so that's all I'm going to use. Not the best grunge look, but it'll do for the purpose of this tutorial. So we'll grab that and we'll just put it on a new layer. And we're going to want to just adjust some of the settings so that it looks a little bit more engraved. So let's go look at the bevel and emboss again and just really play with the settings here. I don't have any specifics for the settings. I like to usually jump in and experiment with them. So you'll find what the best settings are for your image. So I've just downloaded another cracks brush, which again I've put a link in the description below. And yeah, just want to start randomly placing those all over the forehead area. Once you're happy with those, we're going to give it a slight Gaussian blur, not a full Gaussian blur because it's not going to look as realistic. So give it a slight Gaussian blur. I'm setting it at 0.5. We'll do that and then just drop down the opacity a little bit. So I've got about halfway down to 55%. All right. Now that I'm looking at this, the eye color isn't as strong as I want it to be, so I want to go down and put an adjustment layer, a color balance adjustment layer, just above the eye layer. And if we look at the original color, we can see that there's a bit of red in there. So I'm just gonna really bring up the yellows and bring out the reds. All right, so it looks pretty good. And just noticing now that we didn't edit the left paint strip across the eye, just because I thought that was going to be the one that's colored. So we'll just basically do what we did with the other one, give it a Gaussian blur, bring it up to about a 5.0 radius, and good. So now I just want to blur the eyeballs a little bit because the color change gave it a bit of distortion, so we just want to blur that in a little bit to make it a little more natural. So now this is totally optional. If you want, you can go in to use the liquify tool. So filter, liquify, you're going to want to do this on the original image. If you look at the original you'll see that his eye color is closer to the eyelids. So I'm just going to go in and use the bloat tool, and I'm just going to make those a bit bigger. Alright, so I'm just taking a look at these wrinkles, and I think they're a bit too small, so I'm actually going to increase that in size a little bit. And then we're going to want to reposition them as well. So let's adjust the positioning of those wrinkles. Now they're a little bit too big, so let's just grab them again and reduce the height. I mean, at this point, you could also increase the fill to make it a little bit more stronger. All right, so I think it's looking pretty good. So now we just want to really perfect the shadowing and the highlights here. So I'm just gonna play a little bit more with that top black layer with the clipping mask and try and expose the highlighted areas as it is in the promo photo. Now I'm still finding the nose a little bit too bright, so I'm just gonna adjust that a little bit just to make it a little lighter. And what the heck, we'll play a bit with the eyebrows. I'm not going to change it too much, but we'll just use that bloat tool to really push them up a little higher. Alright, so there you have it. That is your very own version of the It Clown using your own photo. Obviously you can play with the details a little bit more just for the purpose of the video of the tutorial and wanting to try and keep it as short as possible. I didn't go into all the detail there. You could really perfect the skin texture with the different grunge brushes. If you have your own, really apply them, overlay them, have multiples to really make this thing look realistic. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up. I'd love to see your version of it. If you would like to comment on, let me know how yours turned out. Comment below. If you want to post a link to it, that's awesome. I'd love to see it. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. Follow me on social media. Links in the description below. And yeah, talk to you soon.